All right, David, I'm so excited because today we are going to try filing our taxes with TurboTax Business.
You're excited. I'm like, we've been putting this off. Today is what, June 3rd? This is supposed to be done March 15th?
We are a little late. We'll see if we owe a penalty, and maybe we can get that abated with the help of our TurboTax expert. This journey started last year when TurboTax announced that they were going to start doing business tax returns, which was a huge change. For years and years and years, TurboTax has only ever done individual taxes. And now they're getting into...
there was a version of TurboTax you could buy, though, right? You could use.
It was like a desktop version, I think. Version. Yeah, but I mean, most people... they might do their individual taxes with TurboTax, but for business taxes, that's where you go to a CPA, you go to an EA, you go to a professional tax preparer. And now Intuit is getting into the tax prep game for business, competing directly with CPAs and EAs for that business that we really want, which is those returns. So we thought, let's figure out what this is like. Let's experience what it is like to file taxes as a business, as a client, and share it with our listeners so they can learn and see what it's like. So
we're going for a ride. And all we've done so far is I went to QuickBooks, I created all our cash basis reports. But other than that, we haven't started anything yet. So this would be you're on for the ride.
We did reconcile.
We did reconcile.
And it should be a fairly easy return. I know everyone says that, but it's our first year in business. It was just a few months of activity. We did reconcile the books. They're in QuickBooks, David. It's all clean, according to you. And so, hopefully we'll be able to just knock this one out, right?
Yeah, there's some ad revenue. There's obviously software expenses, some contract labor, and merchant fees. And that's kind of it.
And this is an LLC. It is a partnership. You and I are 50-50 partners in this. It's called Earmark Media. It's our media production company. So it's just services, right? It's cash in the bank, and we've got some receivables, but we're going to file on a cash basis. So it's really just a P&L. So this is the full-service business website. Let a business tax expert do everything for you, start to finish. $1,500 state additional.
I feel like that's maybe what I've paid for my returns before, for my business returns, $1,500, $1,700, somewhere in there.
So here's how it's supposed to work. It's perfect for partnerships, S-corps, and multi-member LLCs. We are going to securely upload our tax docs. Then we are going to get matched and meet with our own business tax expert. Then we're going to enjoy unlimited expert access, and we will review and confirm everything together before they filed. It's going to be backed by an expert-approved guarantee. The tax return lifetime guarantee is 100% accurate calculations, maximum refund, and audit support, all guaranteed for the full 7-year life of your tax return.
It's interesting that you're getting unlimited access to your preparer. Like, obviously, nobody's going to... there might be somebody who abuses that. But in general, like it's okay to promise those types of things, right?
Right.
Because not everybody's going to take advantage of that.
I guess I'll log in with my business address. I'm already logged in here. Partner with the right business tax expert just by answering a few questions. Find my match.
Control plus to zoom in, Blake? Just a little bit?
Oh, sure.
Perfect.
There we go. Tell us about your business. Is the business an LLC? Yes. How's the business set up? We are a partnership. Where did you do business? We did business in Arizona. What primary function does the business provide? Media production services. Meet your tax prep assistant. A real human will tell you which docs you'll need and match you with your business tax expert. Check availability. Schedule an appointment. So I guess we can't do anything until we meet with somebody. So let's find a date, David, when both you and I are available. Hang tight. We're confirming a few details. Don't refresh this page. We'll call you on Friday, June 9th at 1 p.m. MST. And that's it.
So they're calling our cell. That's
They're calling
interesting.
my cell.
I thought this had like a video type Zoom experience. I guess But I guess this is a handoff. This is probably more like a traditional accountant experience and not like a TurboTax Live experience.
I don't know what this means. It says next steps. I guess I need to share docs. Okay. See my doc checklist. So I need to upload my driver's license or state-issued ID, my last year's tax return, my organizational documents, and my financials. So do you want to should we try uploading some of this stuff?
Do we need to upload both IDs for each partner?
I'm going to assume yes, that we're going to need that for both of us, but it doesn't say that we need that. Last year's tax return, we don't have one. It says we can skip this. And then organizational documents, this would be our articles of organization, our operating agreement. We have that, and the financials. Okay, let's try uploading some stuff. I guess I have to upload one at a time. So I'll do the articles of organization first. Okay, so there's our corporate documents, organizational documents. All right, let's do the financials. Add file. You said you put them.
Now, is it asking specifically for financials or just saying financials?
They want a profit and loss or income statement and a balance sheet.
Well, I'm going to have to go to my other computer. So give me a second.
All right. I got my notification for the call. That's my text message notification from TurboTax.
Now here's kind of the insanity of this whole thing in a way. I'm in QuickBooks. I run these reports. I download them on my computer. I upload them to Google Drive for you to go in and download from your Google Drive to re-upload them to TurboTax, which is Intuit. It should just have a question. Do you use QuickBooks? And then it should just connect and pull the reports itself out of QuickBooks. This is a silly dance we're doing.
Okay, so that's a mark, I would say, against this full service product at the moment because, I mean, not every tax pro will do this, but I know plenty of tax pros who will say, just give me access to your QuickBooks and I'll go in and pull the reports.
And I get it. You might be not using QuickBooks at all, but TurboTax didn't even ask for using QuickBooks. Like, this is your opportunity to ask, are you using QuickBooks? Can we go grab your reports for you? Yes. And that would be a delightful experience.
Okay, so the last thing I have to do is upload my driver license. Okay, I think that's everything, David. We have uploaded the driver's licenses, the QuickBooks reports, and the organizational documents. Let's say I'm done for now. Now, it's saying to set up a call. We already set up the call, so I'm hoping that, all of this stuff will still be here. But I think that's it for now. That's it for part 1 of this journey of filing our taxes with TurboTax Business. So that took us about 20 minutes to do that. Now, admittedly, we had most of what we needed already handy. So maybe that would have taken somebody a little longer, especially if they hadn't reconciled their books.
I feel like the instructions are a little vague. I almost feel like I'd upload nothing and have to wait for the phone call first.
And that might be what happens with most people is they get on the phone and they haven't uploaded anything and their tax expert has to tell them what to do. That would be normal. But we are extraordinary individuals, David.
So how do you think the rest is going to go? Are we going to go into a TurboTax style interface, or is this kind of a handoff and we're just going to get a PDF return back?
We'll find out.
Stay tuned.
See you in about a week, and we'll find out. He's calling. Hello.
Hey, Blake. My name is. I'm your TurboTax expert. I'll be preparing your tax return. I'm an enrolled agent, and I've been preparing taxes for over 10 years. How are you guys today?
Doing all right. How are you?
It looks like you guys have already uploaded your profit statement, balance sheet, and some other information. What type of business do you guys have? It looks like you guys have run podcasts or something to that effect.
We produce podcasts from scratch for others. We produce podcasts of our own that we have an advertising model on. And then we do some other podcast media related production services.
And is this you guys' first year in business?
Yeah, 2022 was the start of it.
Do you guys are an LLC, so you guys are a partnership. Did you file a Form 28553 with the IRS to be treated as an S Corp, or are you guys operating just as an LLC partnership?
Just an LLC partnership.
So what will basically happen is I'll prepare your tax return. It's going to be a 1065. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the process. Because you guys are not in an S Corp, you guys are not employees of the partnership. You guys are partners. Therefore, any profits that are generated by the partnership is going to be reported on your individual tax returns. The way that's done is I'll prepare the 1065. That's going to report all of your income and expenses for the partnership, and it's going to generate either a profit or a loss. That profit or loss is going to get divided based on how you guys have the partnership divided. I don't see a partnership agreement. Do you guys have a partnership agreement?
No, we do not.
In order to prepare you guys' tax return, we do need a executed, so signed and dated partnership agreement. You should be able to find some templates online if you feel like doing this yourself. If not, I would recommend finding an attorney who can assist you with drafting a partnership agreement that outlines those things so we have them Because you guys are partners, the profit and loss, whatever that may be, gets reported to you on a K1. So each partner in the partnership will receive a K1. It's not a W-2, but it's similar to a W-2 in the sense that it reports your profit and loss from that partnership and then use that K1 to report it on your personal tax return. You guys already filed your individual tax returns, or did you file an extension?
We filed extensions.
Okay, perfect.
So we have articles of organization. Is that not sufficient? You have to get our partnership agreement. You won't do this without it?
That's correct. So we keep the partnership agreement for our records because substantiating information for the tax return. Your tax return will also go through a second review, quality review team. So we will actually read your partnership agreement, word for word. Doesn't matter how many pages there are, but we're going to go through the whole thing and we're going to make sure that we're preparing the tax return according to the partnership agreement. So that's why we have to have it. We can't just rely on, verbal communication.
I'm just kind of surprised that this wasn't in the original document request. We uploaded all our documents. We thought we were ready to file our return today. And you're telling me now that we have to give you this operating agreement, which we would have prepared if we'd had notice.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry that it wasn't in the list of documents. I'll make sure to bring that up during our next meeting. TurboTax Full Service for Business is actually brand new this year. So there are a lot of things that we're changing and adding on the fly. Normally, you would be told out during your interviews. This is the process that's probably going to take about a week or so. I'm going to have to review your balance sheet, your profit statement, make sure your balance sheet balances, make sure that the net income is reflected correctly on the balance sheet. I'm going to need your bank statements, your year-end bank statements for all the bank accounts that you have listed on the balance sheet to make sure that the year-end bank statements match what's on the balance sheet to make sure that we're filing accurate.
So just make it a checklist here. We need our operating agreement. We now need bank statements for December 31st. Anything else that we need?
So I'm going to send you a message. The chat box is the only way for us to communicate back and forth, unless we schedule a call ahead of time during my scheduled shift, in which case I would have to call up to you first. In that chat, I just sent you a list of documents that we need. I don't believe I have your general ledger, so I need your general ledger. We need the year-end bank statements. And that it looks like you guys don't have any wages on your profit statement, so I'm assuming you didn't pay any employees, so we don't need to see the W-3 or the W-2, but you do have on there that you paid contractors. So we are going to need the 1096 and the 1099 miscellaneous or the 1099 NEC that you guys filed for the contractors.
Can we just invite you to our QuickBooks and just let you grab everything?
Unfortunately, not at this time. This is a hurdle that we're hoping to overcome by next tax season. But as of right now, we are not able to pull documents back and forth from QuickBooks. If you guys can get this to me over the weekend, I can start working on your tax return this Monday when I come in at 9 a.m.
We should be able to do this today.
Well, I appreciate all your help on this call. Unfortunately, the instructions didn't allow us to be completely prepared as we would have liked. So we will get to it.
Were you guys connected with a tax prep assistant or not this time?
No.
So ordinarily, you're supposed to be connected to a tax prep assistant, and that's where you basically speak to a tax prep assistant where they kind of go over the documents that you need before you get connected to your actual tax expert. You were routed to me directly, so I'm basically just doing the welcome call, and the job of the tax prep assistant with you now to make sure that you've got all your documents. So you're not in the wrong place or anything. You just skip through, and it's not your fault. I think it's a routing issue. But you skipped through the part where you were supposed to speak to a tax prep assistant first, and they were supposed to guide you on the documents that you need. It's not a big deal or anything. I mean, I'll be here next Monday, so as long as you guys have your documents or you can provide your documents to me, I should have your tax return finished by the end of the week. I looked at the profit statement and the balance sheet, and you guys are actually in pretty good shape. So you would be surprised how many clients show up and their balance sheet have, negative amount on it, like an accounts payable with a negative amount, which, that's completely inaccurate, or, the year-end bank statements don't match what's on the balance sheet. So then they have to basically go through and do more bookkeeping because all the transactions haven't been reconciled. So in your guys' case, it just seems like I'm, waiting for the operating agreement, which it sounds like you guys know what you're doing. I'm going to also share my schedule with you, so that way you know when I'm available.
Okay.
One little quick disclosure I want to give you guys, just so you're fully aware. I do have a baby coming next Friday. I will be going on leave starting next Friday. As long as you guys provide me your information by Monday, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't have this tax return done. With that being said, if for some reason you guys don't get me everything I need and I'm not able to prepare your tax return on time, I'm going to do a warrant transfer to one of my colleagues that I see every single day. I'll clue them in exactly, to what's going on with your tax returns. And worst case scenario, another tax expert will file your tax return for you. But again, as long as you guys have all your docs to me by Monday, I don't see a reason I shouldn't have them for you next week before I go on leave.
Got it. Well, thanks for the heads up and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, David. It was a pleasure getting to know you guys. If you need to get a hold of me, please send me a message through the chat box. Okay?
One other question, actually, before you're done. We're late filing a return, right? This was due March 15th, I think.
That is correct. You are late. Did you guys file an extension for the partnership?
No, we did not.
Unfortunately, it's too late to file an extension at this point. What's going to happen is you're going to receive a $200 penalty for each partner for each month that the tax return was late. Because it's your first year in business, the penalty order is going to come to the partnership, to the address that's on file for the partnership. It's going to be an assessment. There's going to be a number on the IRS letter. Because it's your first time, you're going to be able to call the IRS and ask for a first-time penalty abatement. And most of the time, they grant it. It doesn't require any extra effort. You're usually able to do it right over the phone with the IRS agent, so long it is the first time that you're filing late.
And is that something that you or TurboTax helps with?
Unfortunately, no. We're not able to discuss the tax return with anyone outside of you, and the IRS will not discuss your tax return with anyone unless they have power of attorney. At this time, with TurboTax, we do not offer tax resolution, so we would not be able to get a power of attorney from you in order to correspond with the IRS on your behalf. So long as your partnership is in otherwise good standing and you don't have any other penalties or fees outstanding with the IRS, they will typically grant the first-time penalty abatement.
All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. You're welcome. I'll talk to you on Monday.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for being TurboTax Live customers. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Tell us that you need an operating agreement, and we'll have one for you. But
or
I don't
the bank
know.
statements, because we took time to upload all these things, and we could have just had all our ducks in order for today's phone call.
Yeah, we thought we were ready. We thought we were going to file and we were going to be done. What the heck?
And apparently, it sounds like from interactions with who is our tax preparer, there should have been another onboarding call, maybe.
Yeah.
In between.
There was supposed to be an assistant who got on with us and told us everything we needed, and that didn't happen. And
then the other part that caught me off guard, I guess, is like two things I thought were really strange. A, we can't invite him to our QuickBooks. And then the other thing, he's an EA, but he can't represent us to the IRS.
He said they don't do tax resolution. It's not that he can't. He can. It's just it's not part of the package.
Well, yeah, he can't because of the way TurboTax Live Assisted is structured per se. Yeah. Same thing with connecting to the QuickBooks. This is a policy. So we're spending what? This is going to cost us $1,700.
$1,500, I think.
So if I was using an EA outside of this for $1,500, representation, would that be kind of included? What's your gut?
I mean, my guess is that most CPAs or EAs or tax preparers in general wouldn't charge extra to do this first-time penalty abatement thing. I mean, maybe they would, but I feel like my gut is saying they probably would just say, okay, we'll do that for you.
Well, in theory, they get a special line to call into and it'll be faster than us calling it.
Right. So 2 strikes against TurboTax Business already. Strike 1 is they didn't have a list of all the documents we needed, so we weren't ready. And number 2 is they're not going to help us resolve this very minor late filing abatement thing.
And then resolving it for us would be a real wow experience. I'm trying to put myself like, okay, it's our first return, our first business, especially if it's your first business, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're all about customer experience, David, right? So those were 2 negative customer experiences that we just had. So
and some of the simple things like needing the bank statements and the 1099s and the 1096, I'm like, I could have done all those. We could have uploaded those last week.
The bank statements we have, the 1099s we did. The only thing we don't have is the operating agreement, and that's just because we're lazy. But I haven't been asked. I've never been asked by my tax preparer for an operating agreement. That's not something that I expected. I wonder if that's just a CYA kind of thing.
That's that. Well, I think it's less. It's more. I think it's maybe know your customer. Historically, people have exploited TurboTax to commit lots of fraud. Here's fake bank accounts, fake social security numbers, things like that. And maybe this is really a know your customer situation.
Could be.
They don't want to be fine. That's the last publicity TurboTax Live needs, right? Oh, by the way, they filed a bunch of fraudulent returns because people uploaded a bunch of fake docs. Some of the responses were a little scripted, per se, and it felt like calling into a tech support agent where they can only say certain things. So I was thinking, though, we should use ChatGPT and we could have that write our operating agreement.
And this gives me an opportunity to try it, to really test out this prompt creator prompt that I've been using.
And that prompt creator prompt, in theory, the way I understand it, it should ask us questions like, well, who are the partners? And then it should get into that situation.
Yeah, hopefully, right? Okay, what should the prompt be about? I need to create a simple partnership agreement for my LLC. I have one partner. There are two partners with 50% each. The partners are Blake Oliver and David Leary. The entity is Earmark Media LLC. Let's see what happens. All right, do we just want to say like let's go for it? All right, let's just execute the prompt.
I love how it has its own legal disclaimer it puts in first.
Should we try submitting this to TurboTax?
No, that's my full intention. Like, it gives what he needs. He needs to see that's 50%. They need to see that we have you're declared as the tax person. I love number 5. That's awesome. Read that out.
All decisions shall be made by the partners. All unresolvable disagreements will be resolved by a simple coin toss, with significant issues being resolved by using ChatGPT to decide the best course of action. You know, this is I'm kind of impressed.
It's close enough.
Shall we submit it and see what happens?
This is good to go. And then you'll put it in DocuSign so I can sign it?
Yeah, I'll put it into a Google Doc. I mean, it's better than having nothing, but
well, I want to see what happens just submitting it like this without us checking it.
And see if they say anything?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you take a look at the 1099 stuff.
I'll 1099 and the bank statements, and you finish up this, and we get them uploaded up. If we can get all that to him tonight, then maybe we'll have another interaction. Maybe in the chat.
Well, it might just be via the chat.
Yeah, he might just say we're good to go.
Yeah. And
it'd be great if he could do our taxes. But now we have a real deadline, too, because if you noticed on our call with him, if you guys were paying attention on our call, his last day is going to be Friday because he's going to have a baby. So we really have a different deadline now, because I don't want to start over with another. That's the problem, right? You don't want to start over with another preparer.
That's right.
The experience we just had with him, of him telling us what documents we still need and all these reasons why, that could have just been ChatGPT. I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah, it could have looked at what we'd submitted, and then it could have said, okay, there's no operating agreement here. There's no bank statements here. And it could have sent us that information and explained why.
Yeah, there's nothing, because I think he was giving us a lot of canned answers, which could have just been done through a ChatGPT type tool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The organizer's going away. It's just going to be this dance. And that's actually better, because then he doesn't have to come in until it's time to do the return.
Yeah.
Once everything's there.
I got a call we're almost there. He needs our social security numbers. And then the other thing he wanted to know is if we had any startup costs. Basically, I just told him, we did our own legal stuff. We did our own accounting stuff. We didn't have startup costs in that respect. So,
okay.
But he needs me
That's
to
a good
write.
Question. I'm glad he asked that.
He needs me to write a letter to that effect. And I found out that the reason that he wants all of this is because after our return is prepped, it's going to go to a quality control team that will then review everything he's done and look at all the documents to make sure it matches. He needs that in there too, because they're going to flag it as not having startup costs if he doesn't have that letter. So if I get him that letter and all that information, you can prep it today or finish it today. Quality control will review it tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we can have the meeting with him to review it and hopefully file it. So,
and then I guess there's an e-signing.
They do DocuSign. I think we're almost there.
He called you. Did he chat with you first? Hey, can we talk on the phone? Or was it he just called you blindly? How did that work?
No, he just called me and it came up as a QuickBooks number. So I may have had it came up as QuickBooks support. So I guess I've had it saved in my phone forever, probably. I think all the incoming calls or the outbound calls come from that number. So I was happy that he called to make sure that we could still stay on track because, obviously he's going on leave. So he wants to get this wrapped up.
We're showing that we're responsive. So he's being more responsive as well, right? Like we said, hey, we'll upload those today. We uploaded them immediately that same day, right? We didn't sit on it. Yeah. And we're getting rewarded with him being responsive, hopefully.
I'll keep you posted.
Beautiful.
We are expecting a call very shortly from our TurboTax expert. In between the last time we recorded and this call, I got a message from who said, "Hello, Blake. I hope you're well. Are you able to upload your reconciliation statements for your 2 bank accounts, please?" So another case of something that could have been asked for originally.
Oh, because I uploaded the bank statements, and now he wants the reconciliation reports from QuickBooks.
So I uploaded those, and then he said, "You have one uncleared transaction totaling $10 in the account ending in 1739. Could you reconcile it and re-upload the report?" And I'm not doing that for $10. So I'm going to ask him when we get on the call if we can just adjust that in 2023 instead of re-reconciling.
Yeah, at $10. I suspect it's a merchant service fee for an ACH deposit through QuickBooks.
Something like that, yeah. So assuming that $10 doesn't derail our tax return, we should be good to go.
And this is where, like, I think if you have, when I've had an accountant do things before, like, they'll just journal entry that out and not even ask me about it.
How have you felt about this whole process so far, David?
It hasn't been very painful, but I also feel like it's about as simple as it's going to get, right?
You think?
Now, imagine doing this on a personal return with, like, lots of complications, rental houses, and you sold stock, you did this. Like, I don't know how you do this process like that.
Yeah.
But I think for what we had, it was fairly simple. And it still had a lot of hoop jumping, though.
One thing about this document portal is, like, they don't have folders. So if you have a lot of documents to upload, you really got to have a naming convention. It can get complicated.
AI should be figuring out these documents and renaming them as they get uploaded.
Well, I noticed that they have been renamed. I don't know who's doing that, but they have been renamed.
Oh, they have?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And I think the bigger experience is, why are we doing phone calls, like no Zoom call, or even that tool Intuit has for these calls?
And well, I think in the assisted product, it is inside, because I've done TurboTax assisted for my personal return, and the call was inside of the app.
Inside the app.
They don't have that capability yet for the full service. Oh, here we go. Hello.
This is from TurboTax.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I wanted to give you a quick update because our meeting today at noon was conditional upon your tax return being approved through quality review team. And at the moment, they were having an issue with the missing bank reconciliation report. So I've got that uploaded, and then, the $10 is not a big deal. I agree with you. So I'm just pushing for them to let this go. It's $10, it's a meaningless amount. We don't have to worry about it. So I'm waiting to hear back from Chuarki, but at this point, the tax return is not considered final because it has not gone through review because they were missing those reconciliation reports. So if you wouldn't mind giving me a couple of more hours to get this taken care of and see if we can get this squared away. In the meantime, is there any way you could potentially get that $10 reconciled? So if they are pushing to have that, how the amounts match, you'd be able to tell them?
It's $10. It doesn't matter. Let's just push it through. We can make the adjustment in 2023. It's immaterial.
I'm going to do the best I can to get this to go through. So I'm working on it right now.
Yeah. Also, we didn't know that we needed to upload those reconciliation reports.
You're right. Yeah, this is a new thing that they're doing. It wasn't a part of the documents that you were supposed to upload originally. So this is a new thing that they want to see now. So it kind of caught me off guard as well. Hopefully that's okay for the HRT team. If they want it reconciled, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not able to file the tax return until it's approved.
All right. Well,
it's $10. So I'm hoping it's not an issue.
If we change the bank rec, right? If we delete that $10 transaction or whatever, we're going to have to re-upload all the reports. We're going to have to export everything again. So it ties out.
Like I said, it would potentially, like I said in the message, well, yeah, you're right. Potentially you'd have to re-upload your profit statement, balance sheet, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm hoping that they'll just, but this slide, since it's only $10, it's not a big deal. And I haven't heard back from them. They review multiple tax returns, so I haven't heard back from my reviewer. But I will let you know as soon as I do. I also want to get this, filed and done with. Today's my last day here before I go on family leave tomorrow. So if I'm not able to file this tax return today, then you're going to have to be reassigned to another tax expert who's going to have to review the tax return with you. And I really don't want that to happen because we've already, gone so far in this process. So
yeah, neither do I.
Okay, so it's noon right now. Can I give you an update in 2 hours? I'll either message you or I'll give you a call to see what the decision is. There's nothing more that I would love to do than just get this tax return done. I mean, it's the first year tax return, fairly straightforward. You guys don't have a ton of things going on, so it should be a no-brainer, basically, in my opinion.
Is it possible for him to send us a draft version of this for us to review even before he's finished, just so that it saves us more time?
No, not until it's been approved. Once it's been approved, then I can upload the draft copy so you're able to review it. But we're able to upload the draft copy until it's approved as complete.
Okay. All right. Well, we will look forward to your call or your update.
I'll give you a call too, no matter what, just update you, see what's going on.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye, Blake.
I find it odd that you can't get a draft.
Until it's approved by QC.
Which basically, and the way it feels like the approved, that's like this big review process, which means basically it's going to be done. And we're going to get a draft of the final one. And at that point, it's not really a draft.
Well, it's a draft until they file it, I guess. Hopefully, we can get this done today before our preparer goes on leave.
He's going to call later today. I was going to try to adjust my workout schedule around his call, but there's no earlier classes.
I got to say, as we are nearing the finish line, my expectation was that Intuit would do a better job in terms of document collection and that sort of thing. I didn't think it would take this much back and forth to get everything we needed over to the team to do the tax return. So that's a bit disappointing.
So would you say this feels like a normal accounting firm experience?
I mean, I wouldn't say this is great, but I wouldn't say it's bad. I would just say it's sort of maybe in the middle somewhere. But we haven't had a ton of different accounting firm experiences, you and I, so we don't really know. I'm curious what our viewers will think.
I mean, I've now done 4-5 different firm experiences to get either business or personal taxes done.
How does this feel to you?
It's a little bit of more work than I would have liked. So I did use back in the day Tax Planner Pro. Basically, you connect that app to your QuickBooks Online, and if your QuickBooks Online was clean, I just got a return to sign. He did the whole business return without actually talking to me.
Wow. That sounds nice, actually.
The problem was, as a business model, it was really hard to work because very rarely is somebody like you or me have a very clean QuickBooks data file.
Right.
So that was the struggle. Like, this goes to if you're going to offer a service like that, you have to own the bookkeeping. If you want efficient taxes, you have to own the bookkeeping. But it was amazing. It all cost me like $350.
Yeah.
You connect the QuickBooks data. He pulls what he needs out of QuickBooks. You don't even have to invite them doing that, like invite my accountant game or any of that. You just, through the APIs, he reads the QuickBooks data he needs and moves on. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't upload anything. Maybe a photo ID. That was it. I don't even know if I did that even. So,
well, we'll be back hopefully with the final portion of this episode today. How you doing?
Hey, Blake, I'm doing well. I just want to give you a quick call, let you know that I've got your tax return back. It's ready to be filed and reviewed. So I'm just going to download and upload the draft copy for you guys to see. If you wanted some time to get David on the phone.
I'm going to try to dial him in.
Please leave your message for
David Leary.
I could not get through to David, so it'll just be you and me.
Okay, no problem. Are you signed in to your TurboTax account, and are you able to see the document that I just uploaded labeled 2022 1065 review copy?
All right, I'm logged in. I'm going to the Documents tab, and I see review copy. There we go.
It should open up for you in a separate window because it's a PDF. The very first page that you see is an 8879. This is the IBA authorization form. The second page is the 1065, so that is the actual partnership return. It's the first page of the tax return. You guys are using the cash accounting method. There are 2 partners total, so you guys are going to be issuing 2 K1s. That's the item on line I, right on the information. Your guys' gross income for the year was... You can see that you have other deductions on line 20. There is a statement attached further on in the tax return. That statement just basically outlines what those expenses were for. You had some advertising expenses. I believe you had some contract labor and some other things. Small school bills, office supplies. So all that will be listed out. When we subtract 53 from 140, we're left with $687. The following pages are just the basic information for the partnership. Most of the stuff will not pertain to you, as you're aware. When we go further down, we've got your Schedule K. That's going to be on page 5 of the PDF. And that's going to just basically show the items from the Schedule K that are getting split up onto the K1. So everything that you see here is going to get divided by half, 50%. And you guys are each going to receive your own K1, which you'll file with your personal tax return. So the next step now is for you to go through the checkout process. When you go through the checkout process, it's going to ask you to pay for the software, and then it's going to ask you to review and sign the tax return. Arizona does not allow us to do that digitally, so you will have to print out that actual form. So just sign and date it, and please upload it back to me. I urge you to please get it done before the end of the day. The reason why is once you sign, I also have to countersign the tax return. Once I countersign it, then I have to e-file it, and once it's e-filed, it's going to be pending for about a day or so. So if you can sign at the very least today, that way I can hit e-file. At that point, there shouldn't be any issues, and you should just get a follow-up message from another expert letting you know that everything's been approved and you're good to go.
Okay, I will, right after this call, I will do all that, the signing.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Blake. I appreciate it. Okay, so I just forwarded over to you to be able to review and sign. It may take a couple of minutes for it to refresh on your end. You might have to actually click the refresh button as well. And then it should give you an option to proceed to checkout. So let me know if that's happening.
It's working.
It's working? Okay, perfect. There will also be a short survey, I believe. It's only 5 questions long. It takes less than 30 seconds. If you wouldn't mind going through the survey and answering the question, the survey is specifically based on your satisfaction with my service. There's also a comment section where you can leave any comments or concerns you might have. So if you have any feedback, whether it's positive or negative, please take the time to leave it. So that way, you'll have a smoother experience next year. Did you have any questions or concerns?
I just want to say thank you for all your effort in getting this done before you left. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys are both very welcome. Tell David I said hello, and I look forward to working with you guys next year if you come back.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for being a TurboTax Live customer.
Bye. So we paid for the return, and now we are going to try to e-file. Okay, confirm my identity. All right, I'm signing my return. 10 out of 10. Okay, I need to download Arizona, and then I have to sign that. I'll be right back. All right, I have printed the Arizona e-file signature authorization form. I am now signing it. I've uploaded the Arizona filing form, so now we're just waiting for TurboTax to file, and hopefully we're done. So I've got good news, David.
I see that on the screen.
Our federal return for 2022 was accepted, as was our Arizona partnership return.
So 3 weeks? I think we did it on Friday. 2 weeks later, we had our meeting, and then it was done this Friday.
I'm pretty happy with how this went overall. I wish you could have been on the calls with me yesterday when we were finalizing this thing. I was really impressed.
The $10 thing, we got over that hurdle.
That got taken care of. Quality control didn't hold up our return because of a $10 unreconciled item or reconciling item. What I really liked about the experience yesterday was that our agent, who was going to go on paternity leave on Friday, on Thursday, worked really hard to push through the return and called me multiple times, worked through issues, and got it filed. Got it e-filed so that he didn't have to hand it off to somebody else and leave us. And the initiative, I was really impressed with that for a service that is presented like a product like this. The personal attention and commitment to get it done was there. And it made me think that this is why people work with a particular tax preparer. Ultimately, the tech is much less important than knowing that somebody is there for you, that they're not going to leave you hanging. And so if you asked me, David, would I do this again? I would say, yeah, actually, I would do this again.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't super painful. It would have been nice if we had all the requirements up front, and as people rewind this video and watch, these other parts, it was like this, oh, you need some more, you need some more, you need some more. Because you and I could have been capable of getting it all on day one. But you're right, like uploading them wasn't a big deal, right?
Uploading the docs.
Good enough.
I mean, the portal worked. I was even able to upload docs on my phone through a web browser, which I had to do because I messed up.
And when we upload, because you were actually doing the uploads, because I've had this experience with other tax tax portals where if I upload a doc, I got to like say what kind of doc it is, put it in a special folder bucket or, what form it goes to. Like you just upload it to one spot.
You just upload it. You don't have to name it. You just upload it, no need thinking. So I was able to upload the corrected document or the correct document, and I just put it in there and then messaged my preparer, and he said, okay, I got it. We're good. And he filed. And so now we're looking at this final form. Oh, by the way, I was able to do the whole checkout experience. So I put in my credit card number. Yeah. So I put in our credit card number for our company and I paid for it. And you can't go past anything until you pay, which, good lesson for accountants is collect before you file. Yeah. Don't file the return. Don't even deliver a draft until you get paid. And now we have this nice screen here that shows our status. And we can download the return. We can amend. I guess there's an option here to amend. I wonder how that works.
Amend maybe using you find that $10 and we have to redo everything.
I can view the e-file details. We've got all the tracking here. I can download or print the return. I can download the .tax file. I guess that's if you're using their desktop version. That must be like...
So we could open up with the TurboTax product and view it that way.
I guess so. I can
or hand it off to another accountant, right?
Yeah.
That's nice, actually, that you're not like locked in.
Well, and I got an email afterward about their audit defense product, which is part of this. One of the benefits of using a service like TurboTax is that you get audit defense. So in the event that we are audited, a TurboTax qualified tax professional will represent us and defend us through the entire audit process. If we receive a notice from the IRS or a state taxing agency, we have a phone number to call. We should not contact the IRS or state unless instructed by a tax audit team member.
Maybe we should use our back channel connections to the IRS to get us audited so we can test this part of the TurboTax service as well.
I don't know if I'm that committed to this experiment, David. All in all, David, I didn't ask you this. I said I would do this again. I would use them again. Would you? Or would you rather work with a independent tax professional or a firm?
I think if I stacked this up, like versus other experience I've had, it's maybe similar, equal if not better. I don't think it was worse. Like this is a competitive offering. Because I think the stereotype online is, well, you're just going to have shitty preparers working for TurboTax Live. Good luck with your return. Mm-hmm. I don't think our EA was not capable in any way. I never got that vibe at all.
To be fair, we had a very simple return. Even he, I believe, said that. So we didn't really get to test all of the capabilities. I would say, yes, it was worth it. I think it was the extra effort, like the personal effort that really made me happy with this.
I think more wow would have been the connection to QuickBooks.
Yeah, we should have just been able to...
I did all this work that he could have just gone to QuickBooks and done.
Yeah.
And pull the data, right? Instead of us printing reports, which he's probably scanning to import into probably TurboTax Pro Connect, right? Mapping it in, And I think that if you take that work off our plate for the same price, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So you can offer a service like this as a tax pro right now, if you're independent or if you're a firm. I mean, this should be the minimum, I think, is you should have a place where your clients can easily send you documents securely on their computer or on their mobile phone, because it worked on both. You should have a way for them to chat with you securely on their desktop or mobile phone. Actually, on that note, the one thing I didn't like was that whenever my tax pro sent me a message, all I got was an email saying that there's a message waiting for you. Click here to view it. So then I had to go log in. That was annoying, and I kept getting logged out. So I kept having to log in. I wish there was a better way to do that securely without me having to constantly log in to see the message. If there was like an actual mobile app, then you could have like the notification where I don't have to do that.
Could tax pros exploit this? I guess and exploit's not the right word, but I could have a store on Amazon, not own any physical product. Amazon dropship everything. It lives in Amazon's warehouses. I only pay for the goods I sell. I'm kind of building on their platform, but I don't really have a real store. I'm just taking advantage of Amazon stuff. Could somebody use this as part of their service where once I get all the docs, I could just upload them here, have the return done? Could you use this under the covers behind the scenes and your clients would never know?
There are services like that. I was talking with Will Lopez. He sold his firm, but he used to do that. Toward the end, he would just basically outsource everything through an app. I think it was called like Tax File or something. I don't remember. But he would basically just do what you're talking about. And they partnered with accountants, so you could just basically put everything into that portal and be the client's point of contact, and then they do the return and everything. Either way, like whether or not you're doing it yourself or whether or not you're outsourcing it, like this is the experience, the minimum experience that I would say you need to offer as a firm. Online portal, mobile chat, and ability to pay with a credit card, an ability for me to like log in and see all my returns and download them at any time and see the status, right? Or at least get status updates of the filing, so I know exactly what's happening.
Now, did you have to do any like e-signing with him to get him to file it or any of that dance?
Yeah, so the federal return, I was able to e-sign with DocuSign. Okay. And the only reason we couldn't do all of it e-sign was Arizona's laws require a wet signature.
Congratulations. We got our first ever partnership return done.
I would say this is a pretty good result for Intuit. You know, I'm giving them 4 out of 5 stars here. This is their first year doing it, I think. It's very new. So they've got a lot of room for improvement. And you know, if you're a tax preparer who's watching this and you're a little fearful, I mean, yeah, you should be a little fearful. Like this is the experience people are going to come to expect. But as we have, seen in this video, there's a lot of room for improvement, and we can offer even more personalized experiences, and we can do the same thing. A
lot of it's communication.
Yeah,
that was the vast majority of our frustration along the way. It's just
lack of communication.
Why can't you tell me that before? Now we just get a phone call. Now you need this. Why didn't you say that last time we just talked the other day? I'd say, yeah, it's definitely 4-star, not 5-star.
Well, there's room for improvement, right?
But I think, so let's rewind then. What did you think was going to happen? Do you think this was going to be a nightmare?
I didn't think it would be a nightmare because I know Intuit would have quality control in place to ensure that they don't have incredible liability from putting out a bunch of incorrect tax returns. I guess based on my TurboTax experience, I was expecting high quality. I got that. I think I got what I expected. So
and for the money.
For the money, yeah. The assisted is half the price, which is like to pay like $800 or so for a business return and do it assisted would be great. I can't wait until we get to try that. Hopefully we can try that next year.
Because that was the one surprise to me is like we really didn't do anything on this.
We didn't touch the forms, right?
We did no work whatsoever.
Yeah, we didn't do any like filling out forms or like doing a interview or anything. Yeah. I think it was good value for the money.
Plus, I think the other value is because we didn't do it, it actually got done.
That's true. And we had somebody helping push us to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That helped a lot, actually, to get it done.
Looking forward to doing this again with you next year, David.
Beautiful.